Hello, and welcome back to the 20th Century Dude channel. Today's home video demonstration is going to be very simple. It is going to be how to use a CED player. For those of you who don't know what CED is, it's this. Some of you might have come across this in a thrift store before. Some of you might not, but here's one just for an example, and it gets played in this machine right here. So CED, just for a little backstory, CED was a film format, a home video format that lasted from 1981 to about 86, I believe. Now, they stopped making the players in 84, but movies they didn't stop until 86. I believe the last titles, if I recall correctly, were Back to the Future, Jewel of the Nile, and Return of the Jedi. And of course, Return of the Jedi is a bit more on the rare side, since not many of those movies, copies of them on CED anyway, were made. But here we have a CED player, and honestly, it's very simple and straightforward. You have here the power button, and then when you do put the movie in, there's supposed to be a light here. It tells you what side you're on, side 1 or side 2. Now, sometimes my light doesn't go over the side 2, but as far as potential problems with the player, I'm sure there's worse ones. We have here reject, which is basically just the equivalent of an eject button. Basically what it does, you just push it, and then that's when you're, ready to take the disc out. Your typical pause and play. Now, what's unique about pause and play here is, when you do pause it, all it simply does is lift the needle up. And then when you go to play again, it just, puts the needle back down and places CED from there. Here we have rapid access. This is sort of different when it comes to your scene selection. Usually when you load a DVD or something like that in, you can go into scene selection and then pick it out by a scene number or an individual scene. But here, when we do the rapid access, or the scene selection for that matter, it's actually by minutes. So basically, when you put the disc in, you insert the disc, and it starts obviously at 0, but then you can skip to 1, 2, minute 3, minute 4, minute 5, stuff like that. So when you're skipping, you're not really skipping scenes, you're just skipping by minutes. Here is a visual search, which is sort of a fast forward. But it's the way the needle moves across the disc to do the fast forward. It's the most fluid you'll ever see a fast forward, probably on any home video format, because I think we all know DVD is kind of a little janky when it comes to fast forward. But anyway, before I monologue on to death, let's continue onward. So I have here 2 movies. We have Raiders of the Lost Ark and From Russia with Love. The reason, the difference between the 2 caddies is if it's in blue, it's supposed to be in stereo, supposedly with slightly higher picture quality, and if it's in white, it's just, standard mono. Although being that the player is, monaural, it only gives me mono sound. There's really not that much of a difference. Not that I could tell on my TV anyway. And so how this works when you eventually do get one of these discs and put it in the player, you typically sometimes, depending on what movie you have to flip it over to the other side. So Raiders is, let me see if I can find it here, 115 minutes. Okay, yeah. So it can just be split in 2. So it will be about an hour for one side and an hour on another. Now, if your movie goes over 2 hours, you'll have to have a second disc. Even a 2-hour and 8-minute movie like The Magnificent Seven will require a second disc. So it's about 45 to 50 minutes per side. And of course, what do you do for a fourth side? It's blank. There's nothing on it. So, same here from Russia with Love. It's also just split in two. 118, yep, 118 minutes. Just split it an hour. What do we want to do? You know what? Let's do James Bond. Why not? For the demonstration. Now, I have here my disc, and we're about to put it in the player. Some players you might have, they have the little lever you can, like, stick up to play. This is not one of them. This is just a simple stick-in demonstration model. I believe this is something that would have been, if not at rental stores, like expos and stuff, you know, demonstrating the model and whatnot. Although I don't know how many of these were actually in rental stores back in the day, considering this format's quick demise. But anyway, I'm going to put it in the player now, and you want to stick it up, but not too far up. And it gives it back to me. Now, if this was one with the lever, then I'd have to pull it out myself. It doesn't give it back. Yep, starts at 0. And now we're going to begin the movie. And no, for you newbies out there, this does not come in 4K, so sorry if this disappoints, but this was before that. So now I'm going to demonstrate what happens when I do a simple pause and play. Simply lifts up like that, it's on pause, and then we get the little P light. And now we're going to be playing again. Now we're going to be doing some rapid access. See, skips ahead a little bit. Now let's see what happens if I hold it down. We're going to go to, let's see, 29 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Bond. Hope you enjoy your stay. Thank you.
And now we're going to do the visual search, as I mentioned earlier.
Thank you, sir.
It's probably best not to do this the whole way throughout the movie, but for this quick demonstration, I'm sure this is fine. Now we're going to see what this looks like backwards. Pretty interesting, wasn't it? So now we're going to reject it, and we're going to start playing the other side. See, I just stick it back in here like that. flip it over. Simple as that. Now, if I could just aim it right, there we go. And then take it back. Okay, so now my light goes, which is what it's supposed to do. And also keep in mind, when no matter what side you're on, it will always start at minute 0. So, just FYI. So technically, I think we're about maybe an hour, 59 minutes-ish into the movie, but yeah. Let's go to about we're about 18 minutes in.
Mr. Somerset! You are the friend of Green Bay? Yes. There's been a terrible accident. Please come with me. No, later.
Of course, it wouldn't be a classic Bond movie without a train scene on it. This is not the only time a train plays a significant part of the story. It would show up later in movies like Live and Let Die, and of course Spectre, and there are a whole bunch of others.
They killed each other.
So we're just going to do the quick visual search again. I suppose if this were like the modern times, then it would be like the 2 times speed or something you'd play on YouTube or Netflix or something to get through a movie quicker.
He took care of that himself. The other man died first. Now listen. I'll need some help to get across the frontier strip between Yugoslavia and Trieste. I want you to send them...
I think we're done for today. Now we're going to take the movie out. And we'll turn the player off. Alright, so in case you didn't know, I had it hooked up through the VCR. That's how I was able to use a CED player. Again, also a reminder, your player probably will, differ depending on which model you use. Again, you might have the lever the switch up from, play mode to not playing. This is not that model. Again, this is just my demonstration model. I actually got this as a high school graduation present, believe it or not. And just a few other things for those who might be new to CED. When you do get one of these movies, it would be wise to play it once through the player to get any potential dirt off, because this is a format, like your audio records. It is a record. It will skip. It does that sometimes, depending on if there's any dirt on the disc. So just play it through, get most of the dirt off, and that usually helps somewhat. Another thing to keep in mind, yes, there is a difference between its Laserdisc counterpart, a huge difference. So don't put a CED in a Laserdisc, and definitely do not put a Laserdisc in a CED. It would probably not be a wise decision to do that. But anyway, that's all I got for today. So thank you for tuning into this home video CED demonstration. This is just showing off what CED can do. I have another video about CED posted below from this channel, so please have a look at that as well. In other words, thank you for tuning in to 20th Century Dude today. Hope to catch you on the fly. See ya.